Warning, the views and beliefs in the following program does not reflect the views of Boom Broadcasting. We give full creative control to our creators and do not believe in cancel culture. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight of all nights, viewer discretion is advised. Hard emphasis on the advised part.
Live from the MOWM studio, Boom Broadcasting presents The Nightcap. And your host of The Nightcap, mouthing off with Mike.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Nightcap here on Boom Broadcasting, hosted by yours truly. I am the Mike that likes to mouth off. We've got a lot of mouthing off here to do tonight, but of course, I am joined by one of my favorite people in the podcast wrestling game right now. That is one half of championship culture, a part of the wrestling realm. He is the custom guy. He is the belt collector. Tonight, with his background to match mine, he is the Funko Pop collector. That is my man, Brandon, the guy. What's going on tonight, my man? Long time no see.
Well, thank you for that intro, and I appreciate it. And I'm so happy to be here because whenever I get the invitation, I'm like, "Oh, hi guys, I'm gonna come on and say hi to Mike." So thank you for that, brother, and I appreciate it. And yeah, of course, I'm matching your background because the belt room is under construction for season 4. But don't you worry, that's why you're seeing this. But yeah, and just like the belt room, it's got levels to this. There's some levels to this.
Listen, I thought my Funko collection here was a little crazy. But
Uh-oh.
we broke it.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
He said he was showing off there. He was like, no, no, stop it. Don't want to see the exclusives.
That
That's what that
they don't
was.
want to.
It was trying to like save it. You're too soon, too soon. That's for the exclusive Boom Broadcasting
That
even
was
short that you're gonna show.
that's
I
for the
know. It
that's for
was like,
the tour of the MOWM Studio 3.0. Can you see me? Am I back, folks? Tell
yes,
me.
you're back. There you
All right,
are.
good,
There's that
good.
Italian style. He's back.
There's oh my goodness, you're already making me blush. I'm already flushed. It's not from the tequila, it's from the guy here tonight. Man, thanks for joining me here on the
Oh no.
show. Um, we've had a crazy day. Crazy day. About an hour and a
Hmm.
half before SmackDown went on the air. We had a bunch of releases, Brandon. Before we have to get to some negative conversations, I want to bring up a positive conversation. I don't want to bring up something really cool that I saw this week on social media. Hope I'm not taking you off guard here, but this lovely championship belt here I saw on Twitter from Vic with the wrestling club there. And I saw that a certain custom guy had made this belt. So I had to show you some love here today. This is a gorgeous belt. Tell me what went into the creation of this belt here tonight on the Nightcap.
So it's crazy that you would say that because myself and brother Hugh, the other half of championship culture, we put a lot of thought into this because if you know the wrestling club, we commissioned the first belt for them, and then we got together and said, you know what, let's do one on a white strap because we know how white straps are synonymous now with women's titles, but we kept the same dimensions and everything. So now when Victor Perry from the wrestling club reached out to us and said he's ready for another title and kind of gave us some creative freedom, we kind of went and said, all right, how can we make this one different, still in the same vein that you could tell us the wrestling club, but what can be unique about it? So, of course, when's the last time you actually seen a silver belt or even a blue strap? And so that, but it's in more of their traditional colors that they're starting to use now. That navyish blue, the white and the black seems to be now more of the wrestling club's colors. But we wanted to do something unique because and I'll give you a exclusive. We did a silver championship for a good friend of mine in Ohio, which you'll see in season 4. And we said, oh, let's try to do something else with this. And that's where it came about. So a lot of things on the belt, if you notice, it has a lot of things to say about the wrestling club, like the Panther is their symbol. And if you look on the side, those are two Panthers standing strong looking inwards of the future of wrestling. And then every time one of the students look at the belt, they'll see that reflection. So that's actually a mirror finish. So no matter what happens, they'll know they are the future of wrestling. So that was a lot of thought put into it. And then of course, you know me with Jules. I was fighting with putting jewels on there. And I thought for the first two they didn't have any, so me and he decided, yeah, let's do some clear jewels on the side plates just to give it a different feel. Um, and it's a lot of little things on there that kind of like, well, if you pay attention long enough, you'll start to see some things like it's the crown on there, of course, the panther, where the wrestling club is placed, how it's placed, everything like that. So everything's a focal point and takes your eyes to the center of it. But we definitely had some fun making that one, and we definitely put a lot of. We try to make sure that every belt has a story, and this belt will definitely have a different story than the other two.
I love it, man. I love it. I love how passionate you are about championships. And that's the whole point of what makes championship culture so special and one of my favorite shows. And I'm excited to see the new belt room when it's finished with construction. I'm excited to tune in to season 4, man. Make sure you guys go check out season 3, season 2, season 1, all of the awesome content that Brandon and Hugh put out there on the wrestling realm, man. But Brandon, we're gonna ease the people in. We talk about a really feel good story. I love the wrestling, everything that Vic does, man. But we got to talk about it tonight, folks. WWE released a lot of superstars here tonight. As you can see, this ticker is going on for days. This might be the longest ticker I've had on Nightcap. You could see the name scroll by. These are updated as of just 20 minutes ago, according to Sean Ross Sapp, with Oro Mensa and Javier Bernal being the latest 2 additions from NXT to be released or their contract be expired. Brandon, there's some names on this list that I am not happy about. And before we get into this conversation, I want to preface for all of the fans watching tonight. We know that there are other wrestling companies out there. We know that all of these talent are going to rebound. They are going to work harder. They are going to be hungrier than ever before. It's not the point we're making here. You can still have a reaction and still feel some type of way about your favorite being released from WWE or AEW or TNA or New Japan. Nevertheless, Brandon, talk to me about this list, man.
So definitely was shocked because when we got the news that WWE had let go staff, usually like they follow with superstars being released, and I never want to see anybody lose that job, but I understand the nature of the beast. You know what I mean? Like it's an industry where things are ever changing and things are ever evolving. But some people, I hate to say it, some of the releases under this new regime kind of makes you think nobody is safe. Like let's call it what it is. When Dolph Ziggler got released, we thought he was going to be a lifer. We thought he would be in WWE until he was ready to retire. But when I saw that Braun Strowman and, um, of course, Dakota Kai, Cora Jade, Eddie Thorpe, these stable people that were making waves in their individual brand, especially on Braun Strowman, who was brought back, was in high profile matches and everything like that, I was like, "Oh no. Oh no." Even somebody like a Jakara Jackson who was finding her footing, and even people like um um not Core J, one more, Gigi Dolan. I was like, "Oh, we don't know their potential." But like you said, there are other companies, there are other things to do. It sucks that we won't see them on that program, but we'll probably still see them. And like we kind of sort of right on the wall for Shayna Baszler. You could tell the level of, just look at her ring gear. She kind of didn't care lately. Did she see the writing on the wall? But we don't know how many years are actually released, or your contract just not going to be renewed. It might be giving you notice that no, we're not going to be negotiating with you. We're letting you go, which was also a good thing too, because a lot of people had to be explained to me by a wrestler. You go to work to do the work. You want to wrestle. So you don't want to go enjoy nice catering. You want to wrestle. So if you're not utilizing me, let me go do what I want, what I'm my passion. So I get it.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I agree to that sentiment, and I think it's in the landscape of professional wrestling, it's how the business operates. It's always going to operate like this. There's always going to be talent that get released, their contracts are expired, they're not renewed. It's business at the end of the day. It's the wrestling business, it's the industry, and when you're talking WWE, it's the great big machine that is, right? We all know this as fans, we understand it. It just seemed like a lot of the talent here in this list had been making strides, like you said. A Gigi Dolan has a new faction on NXT, Chemical X. Her, Tatum Paxley, Shotzi, they're crushing it. They're getting great fan reactions. I was there at Stand and Deliver in Vegas. They got a great reaction from the crowd in that match. They had a great reaction on NXT last Tuesday when they fought Liv and Raquel for the tag titles. That right there is a name that I was fantasy booking the last 3 weeks to make it to a SmackDown women's division and compete in the mid-card title championship scene against the Zelina Vega, against the Chelsea Green. Gigi Dolan was a, call it what it is, but she was a NXT original. She's been NXT a
The
very
2.0.
long
She
time.
was a she was
2.0.
an NXT 2.0er. And I hate to say it because
So
it's like at the tail end of the black and gold and the start of the color splash. And it's insane because I I I, I don't want to sound heartless. I get it's the nature of the beast. But and I guess we just need to say, is it the fault of look how large that talent pool had gotten? And look how like and I how certain wrestlers are here now that's like, oh, we don't need this person because we have one right here.
because we
Like,
have this person.
yeah,
Like
we don't need
we don't need a Ricochet. We have a Javon Evans.
you know what I'm saying? We don't need this because we have that. And I hate to say that, but I feel like maybe we don't need a Shayna Baszler because we got a, who's another MMA
Yeah.
fighter that's
The Lola
so,
Vice,
right. Like not saying that it's the same, but
It's apples
maybe
to
they looked at it and
oranges,
said,
but
okay, yeah, and it's insane because like even a Braun Strowman, we don't need a Braun Strowman because we going after what you call it from New Japan, Jeff Cobb. You know what I'm saying? So it's like maybe we don't need him because we got a what you call a Bronson Reed going to return. We
right.
got a Jacob Fatu. We don't need you anymore. But it's like we don't like so but you
It's
still got other people around that we haven't seen that could be potentially the next wave. Who knows?
100%. And here's the thing. I don't want this to come out the wrong way, man. And we're live and we've got a lot of people viewing us across social media tonight for the first time ever, ladies and gentlemen. The Nightcap is live on Twitch. That's a new. We are in new territory tonight. Your
Oh,
boy Mike is jumping in the deep end, swimming with the sharks. I have
he
no
said let's
idea what
shut
to
him.
expect. But I want to preface this by saying I'm never going to wish for someone to lose their job. But I am going to ask the question here of where is the logic in some of these releases? Let's talk about a Dakota Kai, Brandon. One of, if not the most popular professional wrestlers in WWE, and one of the, dare I say, one of the best in the ring, even at her age, being in her mid 30s. Dakota Kai was in the Intercontinental Championship picture for weeks, for months. And all of a sudden, she's gone from TV, and tweets come out earlier, end of last week about, oh, I'm not hurt. And there's comments by Nick Khan about we don't bench people. No, you don't bench people, but you full on release them. Dakota Kai, in my personal opinion, is one of the head scratchers on this list. And there's a few. One of them big time, number one, Dakota Kai. What are your thoughts on this?
So it's going to sound harsh when I say this, and it's going to actually, from a business standpoint, did they add money to the bottom line? What was
They
Caden Carter and Katana Chance with merchandise were they actually selling? Were they adding extra seats to a house show? Were they a talent? And I'm just using them two for example because they're in the women's tag division, right? But when you look at certain divisions like a Shayna Baszler, we don't need her because we got a Zoe Starks. We can do something different with Zoe and get some money out of her. Shayna, I think her time has passed. That's might be what they're looking at. Like, okay, who's the next wave or who's the next people? Because to be honest with you, is Braun Strowman a moneymaker? Was he doing something for us, or was it we don't have them in these storylines, or when they push start and then something happens, or we got to shift the narrative because of injuries, because of sideline, and because of something, scares or something. So I don't know if that's it, and it's kind of bad because you're like, unless we're not in the end, we can only speculate. But it's kind of sad that you're like, okay, none of these people were, and I don't want to use the term needle movers because you could still be a talent like for instance, Dakota Kai, she's a talent that had been around NXT, did some things, had some good matches, but was the fan connection really there? I don't see people with a Dakota Kai shirt on. I don't see them with a wristband. I don't see them with a Dakota Kai merchandise.
Sure.
I don't
From
see
a
them
business
cheering for
standpoint.
her. Yeah, I don't see them cheering for her or some kind of fan reaction. Do you see her at the WWE World with the longest line? What value are they adding to the bottom line?
Yeah.
And
No,
I
I
hate to
get
say
that.
that, or is she not available because she's out injured, so she couldn't be at the shows, and that might have been her at the appearances. We didn't see these people on the cricket commercials. We didn't see them in the Slim Jim commercials. Yes, that's reserved for megastars, but you had the Alpha Academy in those cricket commercials. You know what I mean? Like they
Yeah.
weren't the top tag team, but they were just a good connection to the audience.
No.
What
I,
else? Where's the crossover appeal? What else can we use them with?
I get that. I mean, I 100% get that, but I also feel like this was a bad time for WWE to do this. They have a lot of talent in the pipeline. We can't sit here and ignore, the Evolve and the LFG and the NIL and the new wave of rookies in the performance center and this and that and now we have Triple A that we've acquired and so maybe that's what this was. Maybe this was okay, well, here's what we got to do. We have an influx of talent, and here's an influx of talent and we have to kind of let go. But I think there were some bad decisions here. I think Jakar Jackson was a terrible decision.
I agree
That's a
with you
woman
100%.
who never got an opportunity, to showcase, and she was continually improving. Her and Lash Legend, I feel that they should have been multiple time NXT Women's Tag Champs when they existed. And dare I say, they should have already had been WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. I
A
think
while ago.
Akora Jade is criminal. That's a criminal one. She's young. She has so much more to give in this industry. She's popular. Uh, and I don't understand the logic on a Corva Jade, a Javier Bernal, an Oro Mensa. Those
Eddie Thorpe.
sting. And Eddie
He was
Thorpe, those
literally he was
sting.
a heel that we needed. It was
Right.
like and I hate to sound like heel and face, but he was somebody that could off a story because that's what I'm like,
Right.
oh, we're doing this. Okay. We're doing all right. I was vested, you know what I'm saying? It was something different, but I don't want to speculate, but I'm just like Jakar Jackson, we let her go, and this is no discredit to B-Fab, but B-Fab is just in backstage segments. You know what I mean? Like she was doing
Well,
more than
all right,
Fleabag at certain times. You get what I'm
let's
saying?
even
But
get
it's
real
like
here. If we're gonna say that, let's like, and I'm not, like I said, I'm not wishing for jobs, but a logic, a clear logic was not used here on some of these releases because Nikita Lyons is still in NXT.
she's an evolve. She want to evolve.
Oh,
But I'm saying
so
like they're
send the
both
core
talented
Jade.
women, so why did you let one go and they're both? And I'm just saying like B-Fab and Jakar aren't. I want to say they're on the same level, but they both had start stop pushes. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like, come on, like we let her go. We don't know how far she could have went. Like you said, Nikita Lyons has been back. How many times she made a return? Now she's going to evolve. But Cora Jade was in TNA. She was going to challenge for the TNA Women's Championship. She was doing. She was crossing the line. But I don't know if this is one of those. Hey, there's other life out there because let's call it what it is. TNA and New Japan, their rosters are low thin.
No, yeah, absolutely. No,
You
this is
know, so
great. Let's talk about silver linings here. The silver lining is we have so many wrestling companies that are going to see a huge influx of new, fresh talent that, like I said earlier, are hungrier than ever, that have a chip on their shoulder. You can either go lay down and die, or you can go to the Matt Cardona school of independent wrestling and you can
Mhm.
do and copy and paste the Cardona method because that has worked for countless wrestlers. All right. Cardona is coaching these guys and gals who are leaving these companies, WWE, AEW. He's coaching them up right because Cardona is doing it the right way. And if half of these wrestlers follow that method, there'll be a success in a GCW, which I think is a great landing spot for a Shayna Baszler.
Mhm.
A TNA, which I think would be great for Gigi Dolan to reunite, with some of the knockouts there, as well as obviously we know Zach Wentz is over there, her husband. Kaden and Katana could add some serious depth to a TNA women's tag team division. They're a
Or
great
NWA tag team division.
or an NWA tag team division. Riley Osborne, Gallus, Jakara Jackson, Oro Mensah, Javier Bernal. A lot of these guys and gals could find their way to DPW, and
Or
other
mentioned in New Japan would be a big deal for him. I think
New Japan.
that would be a good thing for him. But
I think a
it's
guy
so
like
many.
Eddie Thorpe would be great for New Japan. And also kind of sad for Eddie Thorpe because like I felt like with his Native American heritage, like that's a great representation to have in WWE because who was the last, Tantaka
And
for
that was
decades
manufactured.
ago.
You know,
Yeah,
plus look how they manufacture that into something else. His was more organic. I shouldn't say
exactly.
manufactured. It was more stereotypical for the time frame that we were in. So, but I'm just saying, like, I would hope that you know how when Bronson Reed got released and he when he became Jonah in New Japan, and it felt like a different character. This is what I'm hoping for certain people. Like, and I'm just gonna say Aura Mensa because he's the first one, even Eddie Thorpe. They go over there and look at Juice Robinson when he got released. Look what he became in New Japan. I'm just saying it's a platform now, and it gives them something to do. Like Gallus, I hate to say they'll probably wind up at AEW, um, and they'll get a 3 week push, but that'll be it. But I'm just saying.
Yeah, well, that's I mean that's neither here nor there. But listen, we talked about the releases here, and let's go to some of the comments here. And let's talk a little bit about some of our favorite moments from some of these wrestlers here. Like obviously, Gigi Dolan, you got to talk about some of the stuff that she did with Toxic Attraction, her and Mandy Rose and JC Jane. The feud that she had with JC Jane in that steel cage match was incredible. And of course, how could
Mhm.
anybody ever forget the JC Jane is a fake ass bitch. That is almost 2 years. That's almost the second year, the 2 year anniversary of the
Mhm.
Gigi Dolan Memorial Day weekend. This year will be 2 years for that. Any good memories come to your mind, Brandon, from some of these wrestlers
Of
that were
course,
released?
Braun Strowman, the street fight,
Oh,
and the ring collapsing. Who can forget that? Braun Strowman just, yeah, he didn't have a title this time, but he didn't need it. I felt like he was the big enough monster to put people over. Freestyle wrestling. Oh, I was hoping somebody was going to bring that up, but I kind of feel like it might be. Um, Eddie Thorpe weaseling his way into a title match. That was kind of,
that was
and it
good.
was like that was kind of like it was different. So and even Caden Carter and Katana Chance winning the tag team titles, the women's tag team title. I mean, we forget about how great their run was in NXT. They really were the NXT tag champs, and they were really doing things at that time. So, and of course, Dakota Kai, the Intercontinental title match, or and Dakota Kai and oh, what is her name? The Queen of Kicks. What's her name? Oh, she got released. Um, came
No,
back and then she
Tegan
got released.
Knox.
Tegan
Tegan
Knox.
Knox. That's
Just
another
go
woman
watch
that
their
was released
feud
this year.
in TNA. I mean, I'm sorry, NXT. Just go watch their feud in NXT, and it was just that right there is what made me pay attention to both of them. So,
I like it, man.
mm,
I like it. Obviously, definitely tough scene here, but a lot of people still left in WWE, and we had ourselves a decent SmackDown tonight. Jade Cargill, Naomi, and Nia Jax are all stepping up to the challenge. Tiffany, while only Rhea Ripley is expected to go after Io Sky, unless Julia, Roxanne, and Stephanie Vacour get called up to Raw. I didn't even have to look at the name here, ladies and gentlemen. I knew that this was our main man, frequent flyer, Logan James.
good.
Logan, we're going to talk about it. What
It's
up,
coming.
Mike? What's up, Mike, as well? Shout out to Media Moguls Productions. Good to see you in here,
Hey
brother.
there. Good
Derek,
evening.
of course. Great to see you. What's going on, everybody? Derek, a lot's going on here tonight on the Nightcap.
Toys and tees. That's what I'm talking about.
That belt is fire in reference to the wrestling club belt. See, Brandon? People
Hmm.
love it. People love the custom
That's
belts.
good.
Very
You
nice.
said,
Very nice.
did you say custom belts? I'm sorry. Go ahead, continue.
Oh,
I was
whoa.
waiting for you to say it. I said, I had to bring my favorite custom belt, the
Oh
double
my,
wing belt. So, I had to make sure that we had a belt. Even though the room is in construction, I can see how long I can hold this up.
oh my
Oh, wait a minute,
goodness. He always
is the
has
light
to
hitting the wrong?
flex. He said, hold on. You see it shining?
Yeah, I'm
My
just making sure the light
eyes,
not too
my
it's
eyes,
not
my
killing you too
eyes.
much.
No, it's I'm gonna have to go put some sunglasses on here. I gotta throw on the old LA nightshades here. It's a little bit
Yeah.
too bright here for me. Um Much of social media today, though, was tweeting and hooting and hollering about these releases. But tonight we are not going to go all social media like I saw today, posting some videos like that was. I saw that a lot today. Some tweets here.
Go fuck yourself.
With that. So we're not going full crash out tonight here on the Nightcap, but it is a damn shame. And I wish nothing but the best of luck to every single talent here that was like by WWE or their contract was not renewed. I can't wait to see what they do next time. There's a lot coming down the pipeline. Brandon, should we talk a little bit about SmackDown tonight?
Oh yeah, let's get to it because it was interesting. That's what I'm
It
gonna
was
say.
an
It was very
It was
interesting.
an interesting show. It was a very interesting
Yes.
show. Vibes were off. It was
Mhm.
hard to keep it's honestly hard to concentrate through SmackDown because I'm checking Twitter every minute to see if my favorite superstar was released or not signed or re-signed. So it was tough to concentrate, but we'll try to make do here. LA Knight kicks us off on SmackDown. Brandon, it leads to Damian Priest versus LA Knight. And then of course, what happens, Brandon? What always happens in these matches?
Of course, nobody can be a winner. It's got to be a DQ finish to set up a multi-person match. Like we didn't see that coming. I hate that storyline was so predictable. And I don't know if LA Knight and what you call it, time was off. It felt like they was doing a lot of talking in the ring, or maybe it was rushed, or something just felt off with it. But I, I could do without the multi-man matches for a while, and I know that's a way to get certain people. I was really looking forward to see what Drew and um, uh, Jacob was going to do, but then we got a four-way. And don't get me wrong, it's probably going to be interesting because the multi-person matches have been good for the male and the women, the men and the women. So, but I was just interested to see that one-on-one match because when Drew wants to, Drew can make you in the defeat or win. You're going to still talk about that match afterwards. That's all I'm gonna say. And I was looking forward to seeing what him and Jacob was going to do, but we got a fatal four-way. Yay!
We do
Exciting.
get a fatal four-way, but I mean, Solo ends up costing Jacob this match here, and then ends up turning it into a fatal four-way. And Nick Aldis slyly says, I'm not screwing him over. You are,
You are.
Solo. So I think it's only a matter of time before we get the old I hate you, Solo, coming from Jacob Fatu. I don't know how I feel about one particular man involved in this whole fatal four-way, and that's Drew McIntyre, Brandon. Drew McIntyre, the Scottish warrior, the Scottish psychopath, coming off one of the best rivalries in WWE in a very long time with CM Punk, parlaying that into a WrestleMania feud with Damian Priest, which was very good and exceeded all expectations, I feel. They had a great match. Now, Drew McIntyre is fighting for the United States Championship.
Mhm.
How does that end up happening?
Well, if you think about the way that things are booked, right? One, Drew has never been United States champion. Two, I think they're trying to elevate it to the point where, because back in the day, like in WCW, when the United States title was there, former world champions went after that belt and brought some attention back to it or did some things. It was kind of like I don't want to say, let me go back down here and work with some of these guys, and then I'll come back to the world title. So I don't disagree with him being there because I think it could, like, I wanted to see what he could do because look what he did he revitalized CM Punk's career. Let's call it what it is. He had some of the best matches with CM Punk, had some of the best matches with Seth. Him and Damian, he did what he needed to do. He finished with Damian, and now he's moving on to the next thing. Because remember, didn't he say, I want to fight the biggest dog? I mean, the biggest, or what did he say? He said something when he came out, right? That's why he wanted to go after Jacob. So it
Yeah.
makes sense for me, but from a standpoint of being a former world champion, I'm sorry, a former WWE champion and a 5 minute world champion, yeah, it's kind of like a downgrade, but I don't see it as a downgrade. I see it as a no, I need to be in this division because I know the WWE title is tied up right now with John Cena, his storyline, but I got enough star power to bring some attention to this.
Okay. All right. I mean, I just can't see a world where you got Drew McIntyre, who's at maybe the hottest he's been in a long time, and I don't see him losing to Jacob Fatu in a multi-man at Backlash. But then again, it is Jacob Fatu's world, and we're just living in it.
All gas and no brakes.
All
But I
gas,
think
no brakes.
Solo's
Not
gonna
I
play a
mean.
Solo's gonna play a part in this. You know it's gonna be something screwy with Solo. So if
Yeah,
Jacob walks out with the title, it'll wind up probably being them two for the title. Or if he drops it,
you know what's coming. You know
yep, you know it's coming.
if Solo somehow ends up costing Jacob that match, you already know the crash out is going to be generational. To be fair, the roster is way too big in my honest opinion. Yeah, I mean, both, WWE had a lot of talent, and that's business, right? I'm so glad they introduced women's mid-card belts just to release a bunch of the mid-card women. Yeah, Mark, that's what pisses me the most off about this whole situation is we lost a lot of women. We lost a lot of women in WWE over the last year. All right. This doesn't include Sonya, Indy, Tegan Knox, Blair Davenport. Who else am I missing? Because
There was
they're
a
not
couple
the
from
only ones.
NXT. Yeah, I forget, it was a couple
Yeah.
other ones.
So even then, Indy Hartwell, like we lost a lot of women recently, and all of those women could have been vying for the United States Championship instead of it being Machine 3 times and then Zelina Vega once. You could have had an Indy Hartwell, you could have had a Blair Davenport, a Sonya Deville. There's a lot that could be said about the Triple H's booking of the women, and clearly, every time I say it, I think it's becoming more true, Brandon. Let Shawn Michaels book the women on the main roster because he did wonders in NXT for half the women that were released tonight and some of the women that were released previously. So let Shawn Michaels book the women.
And the
Paul.
crazy part is, and I hate to say this, the TV time hasn't changed, but we have more titles. And the sad part is we have more segments now because, I don't know if I think Triple H hasn't found a happy medium from wrestling to entertainment because under the old regime, it was wrestling, 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 wrestling. Get as many matches on the card, no matter if it's Raw, SmackDown. And I don't care if it's New Day versus the Usos for the 17th time, it's going to be the match. Because even the New Day said, we've wrestled you like 10 times in the last 16 weeks. We got a lot of wrestling, not necessarily a lot of storytelling. And I was having this conversation with you because I feel like the long term story is going to kill a lot of momentum because the payoff sometimes doesn't happen. But I don't know if he's found a happy medium between entertainment because some of the segments, like let's call it what it is. I didn't need that Randy Orton promo tonight. I would have much rather had a match because he really didn't say anything of substance. He just replayed what he said last week. But for the sake of building this match, because we don't have a John Cena, we got to do something with Randy. I would have loved to see the promo package on Twitter or something, telling the story that way. So
Yeah. Yeah, there's been some missed opportunities. There's always gonna be missed opportunities. Oh boy, let's see. I'm delayed late on some of these comments. Shotze apparently is in the air about being released from what I just read. That'd be
oh, that's not
bad.
good.
That's not good. Think if WWE is focusing on signing Mariah May, which could be one of the reasons behind the big recent superstar releases. Logan, okay, so
Ooh, buddy.
if
Go ahead.
if
Let it rip.
if
Let
if
it rip.
if the options are keep 7 women's wrestlers across NXT and the main roster and not sign Mariah May, I'm picking 7 over 1 every day
It's
of the
it.
week. If
And
that
see, I
isn't,
have a
if
different
that's
thing
like
about Mariah
something,
May. And
if,
here's something
if
I'm gonna challenge you on this. Do you think AEW pulled her too fast? I think she
do
had
I
a
think they
lot more to do.
pulled her?
Yep.
I mean, I think Tony Khan saw the reaction and immediately just thought with the wallet and the checkbook and said, I got to get her over. And
Before
he
somebody
didn't
else take her.
before someone else takes her, but he didn't do it in a long term. How do you only sign her to a 2-year contract?
But I'm saying she's still like I hate to say it, she's still I don't know if she was the big leagues ready. I think that she was still figuring out who Mariah May was. Because if she was big
Yeah,
league ready, she would have had a match and not been in the corner of Tony's store. He hyped her up like she was a big thing, but nobody knew who she was. People knew who Julia and Stephanie Vancouver were. You know what I mean? They knew who these women were. It was like, and then there's a Mariah May. Like, not to say she was the third or fourth, but on the list of the international women, she was like, okay, in the top 10, but she wasn't like close to the one. She was closer to 10. And that's
Yeah,
why I
but
feel
like,
like her title reign kind of was like, what do you do with her?
but here's the thing about that is it's like Mariah May, like people are gonna fucking hate me when I say this, and they whatever, man, let it be. It's my own opinion. Mariah May would be great in NXT. Like NXT, Mariah May, that'd be perfect for her because she could really hone her craft. I mean, I'm not saying she's bad in any way, shape, or form. I think she had an incredible dance partner, with Mariah May. And I think that I do agree in the sense that maybe they should have kind of held her back from the title. I feel like her and that Tony Storm story, you could have had that draw out for 2 years. You could have done the turn realistically. Let's just say, like, for example, you could have done the turn this year and it still would have
She
been
could
a
have won, what
fantastic
you call it? She could have won this year's Owen
this
Hart
year's
tournament.
Owen. Exactly. Um, we'll see what happens. Wayne says it seemed like Dakota was getting a push, just weird. Yeah, weird. That's what I'm saying. There is no logic, and I feel like in a sense like this, you can't put logic behind it. It's because at the end of the day, it's TKO, it's WWE, it's someone in accounting, it's someone in the business, it's someone on the board saying, hey,
This
our
is what I'm.
shareholder value needs to be increased this quarter, and we have to cut 10 wrestlers. Figure out who the fuck you're cutting, Triple H, Paul. Figure it out. And
Mhm.
this is the figure it out. Whether it's Triple H, Paul, whatever, whether it's the board of directors, whether it's shareholder value, but it's business, and that's what ended up happening here. And that's the fucked up
And it
reality is
sucks.
that there is no logic in business. You have so many places you could use talent. They could have sent people to like Evolve or let them do something with TNA talent. Oh, agreed. I think we touched that on that, Brandon. This is a good one. What message does this send to the WWE ID or LFG crew that you have to be more than a hard worker or talent? You have to sell. I agree, Mike. Bad time. This definitely, I'll put it in a simplest term, Brandon, and you could, probably put it more eloquently, but it definitely makes the ass pucker a little bit. Watching the news, if you're one of these talent, and you're going, oh, they're gone. Oh, wait, now they're gone. So that probably puts a little bit of fear into some of this talent. Do you agree to that sentiment, or do you think they're kind of like in their own little world? We're like, they're like, I don't really give a shit. I'm young. I'm whatever. I can go anywhere. I'm the best.
So I don't know if I'm a WWE ID prospect or I'm on LFG, if I'm nervous right now. I don't think I'm nervous because I know the extent of my contract. And unless I'm just completely not doing everything right, then I wouldn't worry about it. But then if you think about like LFG, they probably have a different set of contract that binds them to the TV deal, right? So I know I'm safe right now. Now, post that contract running out, then I'm going to hit the panic button. WBID isn't necessarily always involved, but you start to see they're working on the NDC and they just have that extra oomph. So they're kind of like in the system, but I'm not. Now, if I'm an NXT talent, I'm nervous. If I am literally signed to an NXT, if I'm signed to a main roster contract, I'm gonna just say one of the three brands, NXT, Raw, or SmackDown, I'm completely nervous because I'm like, if they got rid of this person, I would have. Oh, let
What
me try to
about
figure out a
me?
way. Yeah, now that's why I'm
Like if I'm in
nervous.
NXT and I see a Cora Jade's release, I'm saying, oh shit.
Oh, wait a minute.
Oh,
Like,
whoa, whoa, whoa.
you know what I mean? Like, I ain't been on TV for 6 weeks. Something ain't right. Let me make sure. Let me see what I can do to make sure I
Yeah,
don't. So that's
yeah.
where I would be nervous. I wouldn't be nervous if I was an ID or LFG. I would be nervous if I was. I wouldn't be nervous if I was on Evolve either. You
I
know,
wouldn't
I
be
would be
nervous about
nervous.
that.
Yeah, because I know it's a proven ground, and I'm still trying to figure out me because look, I would be looking at people like a Javon Evans who went straight to. I'm gonna keep calling NXT the third brand. It went to the third brand. This man just turned 21.
Mm. No, he
So
ain't
I'm
even
like,
21 yet, is he?
he just turned 21.
Oh shit. I thought he just
Yeah,
turned
and I'm
20.
like, oh, see, I saw a post that people wish him happy birthday, and I was like, he's just turned 21. Wow. But and then I'm gonna look at it like people like Ethan Page who had careers beforehand and found his way to WWE or Ricky's Saints. I'm gonna look at that and be like, all right, that's my motivation. Even if a lot of wrestlers have left and came back. just because the WWE isn't for you right now, that doesn't mean it can't be your home.
Yeah,
That's the other
absolutely. I
thing
mean,
too.
Drew McIntyre, the list goes on and on. A lot of wrestlers left and came back and were bigger stars for it, and they had
Hmm.
to. Cody Rhodes, right? Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, some of the big names, we'll talk about. Um, I'm sure to Kairi Sane save WWE because WWE's partnership with Rossi Agawa, I guess. Release half of Meta 4, I believe, just as Noam Dar returns is nuts. Actually, yeah, that half of
Hmm.
Meta 4 is gone. It's now the Meta 2. My whole thing about the releases today is you released so many people, but kept the guy like Ridge Holland around. I'm not, like I said earlier, I really don't, I hate these kind of conversations. I don't want people to think I'm some evil
And
asshole,
that's
but
why I try to make the comparison. I'm like, that's what I don't get. Like, I
that's
would be
my
saying, why
logic.
me? And what, you know what I mean? Like,
Why
oh,
me?
okay. And I keep saying, I don't want anybody to lose that job, but I understand the nature of the beast.
Exactly. The same thoughts that you guys are having about some of these talent that are still signed or still retained positions that you're kind of like, well, I haven't seen them in this many weeks or this many weeks, and they're still there or they're going to evolve. Those are the talent where I say the logic, there was no logic involved here, and it probably just became a bottom dollar thing. Let's get back on track, folks. I know we could spend this whole nightcap. We're already spent most of the nightcap on this conversation. Poor Brandon is going to be drinking copious amounts of caffeine tomorrow to stay awake. Um, let's go real quick. Pretty Deadly versus Fraxium. Didn't feel like it got into the third gear that I was expecting tonight. Brandon, agree or disagree?
100% agree. The promo before the match was hilarious. When he said, y'all had a tasty debut, and it was like, but we're the tastiest snacks. I was like, this is why I like Pretty Deadly. They always
Oh
say
yeah.
something to make you pay. They say or do something that make you say, oh, these guys are entertaining. And I was expecting the match to be, I expected a "This is awesome" chant for like half the match,
Hmm.
and I was like, come on! I know y'all can do more. Come on, bring
Yeah,
it two of the best tag teams from NXT. Come on, like because remember, Pretty Deadly held down NXT UK and NXT. These are the people that
it was it was
beat
in
the
the
new
beds
day
with them tag titles, cuddling up with
in
them,
the
and
shower.
in the shower.
They had whole vignettes with them. So I was like, come on, do something.
Just
I
do
felt like.
something, poking him with the
Like
stick.
And that said,
Um,
that's what our expectations have become. We're
yeah,
expecting those type of matches, but yeah, it didn't. It felt like it was missing something.
it was missing something. Shout out to Elton Prince though. He finished the match with a nice nasty cut on the old chin.
Ooh,
He's still pretty, don't worry, and he's still deadly according to Kit Wilson.
mm,
Nia Jax is back and bowed down. The only queen I'm bowing down to is Nia Jax. I will not. There's fake queens on
you will
SmackDown.
appreciate that.
But of course he will. Of course he will. Only queen I'm bowing down to right now is Nia Jax because she is back. She's back with a vengeance. It leads to our main event tonight, Brandon. We'll talk about it. I think we know who's fighting for the WWE Women's Championship for the next couple months.
Hmm. And well, I should say that I think it's about to be a complicated, another multi-person situation because I think we want Naomi, but the WWE is trying to tell us you got a Jade Cargill, but then you're like, well, wait a minute, it's Nia's turn. You know what I mean? Like it's one of those situations we don't know what we want until they give us what we want. So I love that they're doing this with them. I'm glad that Nia Jax is back because she about to carry us through probably SummerSlam because that's what
Oh,
her
yeah.
biggest role has been. Insert me, watch what I can do.
Yeah.
Um, but Jade is teetering right there, and I'm glad that they have two vets and two let's call them two rookies because the time frame that they've been wrestling, like people forget, what was it, 3, 4 years ago? Tiffany was a gymnast,
Yeah.
and
Tiffany's
look
been
how
doing this
much.
is literally Tiffany's third year in professional wrestling. She started in the
And
PC 21, then kind of made her name in 22, made it to the main roster in 23, and she's been now here for about a year.
respect her. And it's so great because it's like, look how much she's done. You know what I mean? Jay Cargill. Yes, everybody can talk about she was from another company. She redefined herself and re-debuted herself here. But then you have a Nia Jackson and Naomi who have been here, have done that. What better dance partners are in this situation? And I love it. I think it's going to have some interesting TV. I think it's going to have some interesting.
I like it. It's kind of like a refresh of the main women's title picture scene. I'd like to see that happen for the mid card scene. We'll talk about it in a sec, but we got to talk about Aleister Black and the Miz. Tonight's Aleister Black's first match at WWE in 1,120 something days. Shout out to Joe Tessitore for the numbers. I ain't Rain Man. That ain't me. Aleister Black versus the Miz. And Brandon, I'm gonna say something that our resident dean of Hate You, Mr. Chano Hayes, is gonna love when he hears this. The Miz made Aleister Black look like $1 million tonight.
He did The Miz just proved to you why he is a two-time Grand Slam champion. He is when he's ready to say I'm done, a Hall of Famer, because the Miz continues to do what the Miz needs to do, and he's in the right place at the right time, and it was perfect. That's all of a sudden. He made us realize, oh, this is who Aleister Black is. Okay, got you. And this one match.
Beautiful. Aleister Black looked great tonight. I don't know where he's been hiding this from. You all know I'm an AEW guy. I watch AEW. Brandon's an AEW guy. He watches AEW. I don't know where this Aleister Black was hiding. Big dog, where you been at?
Almost NXT. That was almost NXT.
That was almost Mr. 2016, 17 Aleister Black hooping.
Because you know what? And I'm gonna tell you something that you're gonna appreciate when I say this. You forgot who's on the roster with him. His main nemesis, his wife's old person,
Old man,
Andrade.
Andrade.
If Andrade and him can reignite something, and we got Andrade and Drew, because we still forgot that they had some history in NXT too. But I'm saying if they can somehow, because I know Andrade is doing something with Delgado Del Montazo and about to get himself a stable and go against Santos, but yep, that's all I'm gonna say about that.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yes.
yeah, we're back, ladies and gentlemen.
You got a Johnny Gargano and what you call it? I know they're doing a tag thing and they're holding it down, but you got a lot of your black and gold days right there. So
it just seems like Triple H, Triple H loves his black and gold guys and gals, but then you have a Shayna Baszler who was a core of the black and gold brand, and she got thrown to the wayside. I always thought when Triple H got in the helm, that NXT black and gold was going to get recreated on the main roster, Brandon. I mean, we're starting to see bits and pieces of it, but there's still some questions that remain in the air. Zach said, meant to say earlier, but love both of your guys' Pop Funko collections. Puts mine to shame. I mean, let's be real. Brandon's puts mine to shame. You guys, I only have the wrestlers behind me. I do have like Marvel and other brands. They're actually in like buckets hitting away because
no, you gotta put them suckers up.
I can't put them suckers up, dog. I'm trying to sell those suckers. So Zach, you want any Funko Pops, dog? Hit me up. I will be your Funko Pop supplier, bro. I will give you wholesale pricing from Miling Off with Mike. We'll turn this into a fucking bad used car commercial from the 90s here. Come on down and Mouthing Off with Mike's Funko Pop Emporium, where Funko Pops are flying off the shelf left and right.
I send you a personalized message every purchase.
Gets you a Mouthing Off with Mike sticker with every purchase. I'll do it in a fake ass Southern accent and everything. I'll rent the Ford pickup truck for the shits and giggles.
Oh my God, this is why you're mouthing off.
This is why I'm mouthing off with Mike, baby. You never know what you're gonna get. It's like a box of chocolates. This show, you never know which one you're gonna get. Could you get chill Mike? Could you get happy Mike? Could you get drunk Mike? Who knows what kind of Mike?
Could you get chest hair Mike? You never know which one.
You could get chest hair. Whoa, save that for the spicy.
You gotta have the button up.
I gotta wear the button up for that. I can't just pull the collar, yank the collar down. You gotta pay for that content. $3 a month. That's all I'm gonna say. $3. $3 you get to see chest hair. I'll even start shaving it in different designs. If you guys actually want to pay the $3. We'd do like the Batman symbol 1 month. We'll change it the next month. We'll do like I lost him. It's over. Show's over.
Okay, where's he when you need him? Where's he? This is why I need you.
He's all right.
That's wild. That's wild. That's wild. Oh boy. So back to Lord, I see you changing. You talking about Zelina Vega and Piper.
Talk about it. Take it away.
Oh. So I'm happy for Zelina. I hate the fact that she won the title and then it became a full-on photo shoot. I was like, oh, I couldn't go on social media without seeing. I was like, when did she have time to do all this? Um, the motorcycle picture was cool, but the match, Piper is exactly what she needs to be. And I hate to keep saying it about people because one thing I realized with this roster, everybody is not a superstar or a megastar. Everybody has a purpose. And
Mm,
Piper's purpose has been to get people over. You know what I mean? At times when we need to pull the trigger, she's there. So this match seemed like it was to put Zelina over, but to further the storyline of everything going. And I think it was executed well. But some, and I hate to say that it was botches. It just didn't feel like a lot of things was connecting because obviously the size different. Selena Vega is just a small woman. Like I still have a hard time believing that's my thing with certain women that they can't really have a good match because if somebody's 4'12" and somebody's 5'7", how are we having a we're not going to be able to lock up well. We're not going to be able to do certain things well because of the just the body chemistry difference. That's
sure.
so I was happy that she didn't get the title and then we don't see her. So I was happy anytime we get to see Zelina Vega. Just hate her music. I can't stand her music.
Ah, music was trash. Music's trash.
Yeah.
Can't Def Rebel, you'll pay for your crime. Def Rebel didn't get fucking released. Could have released fucking Def Rebel, saved a ton of money. That's all I'm gonna fucking say. I'll start making the fucking give me Garage Band, baby, and give me a dream. I'll make the theme songs for WWE. Fuck out of here, man. Yeah, I'm happy for Zelina. I will say though, Brandon said I'm so over this man tonight. I'm happy for Zelina. I thought it was really cool. Zelina took the United States Championship to the 9/11 memorial, placed it
Perfect
with her
touch.
dad's name, added that personal touch. You know, I'm not afraid to admit it. Macho Man told us back in the 80s and 90s. I'm not afraid to admit I shed a tear, man. I shed a tear this afternoon watching that, man. That hit close to home for me. I thought that was a beautiful moment. I always got love for Zelina Vega, man. Happy for her. But let's mix it up, baby. Let's I don't know what we're doing. We just released a bunch of talent that I was fantasy booking to take on Zelina. So let's see what they come up with. Let's get her some new challengers here in the very, very near future.
Hmm.
Um Randy Orton, the Viper, the Legend Killer. Brandon, what more could you say about Randy Orton? What he's gonna do is he's gonna come out here, he's gonna pose, the crowd's gonna love it, they're gonna eat it up, and he is going to cut an intense, impactful, damn good promo tonight.
But I could have did without it.
I
Honestly,
I didn't need it. We could have saved it
I
for
didn't
next
need it.
week. We could have saved
Yeah,
it for next week.
I would have been happy. I would have been happier with a video package like they WWE on Wednesday. WWE released like their greatest hits between him and Cena, and they just played a lot of the matches on their YouTube channel. Um, Randy is great. I never thought, especially with 2009 Randy Orton, or like current. I never thought I would be gun ho behind Randy Orton as much as I am right now, because he's done the job of saying um, I hate the word cool, but it's cool to like radio. You know what I mean? Like it's cool. After that crowd, what was it, Backlash last year when they were singing the song and they was shaking the camera because it was so much noise. And you can see he just broke was like, hey, y'all like me. Like, oh, y'all do. Y'all really, really like me. So it's good to see Randy Orton in this mind frame. I'm glad that he's still showing hints and he said he's just another legend I gotta put down. I was like, okay, that made the promo worth it. I'm
That
okay
was
with
it.
it
That
now.
was worth it.
Yeah.
I would I would love to see Randy Orton hit a vicious punt kick on John Cena. I've been I've been I've been robbed of a punt kick. All right. We were supposed to get a nice punt kick to Kevin Owens by Randy
Hmm.
Orton at WrestleMania. I'm still waiting on this punt kick. I feel like I'm sitting in the chair in the corner and I'm just getting absolute. I'm not gonna say it. Well, you thought I was gonna say it. They thought I was gonna say it. I'm just not getting the punt kick, folks. But Randy Orton, John Cena, the last time ever, Brandon. Do you really think this is the last time ever for Randy and John
I
Cena?
don't I don't believe anything in
I don't believe
WWE.
jack shit.
I don't believe. I don't. Somehow it would be like a mixed. I mean, not a mixed. Four-way match, a tag team match. Him and Cody Raheem versus. It'll be something because he's got to come back too. It's going to be something else. They just say, "Oh, we met the last singles match they're going to have." before his retirement tour. I feel like it's going to be something else, some
It's
kind of
it's
way.
been 3 weeks since we've seen our good friend Cody. You could definitely feel his talent missing from SmackDown this week. I was like, where,
Is the woes.
where's the woes? I haven't. It's been
Let's
3 weeks without the woes,
Mike,
folks.
mark this day and time. Let's hope he comes back with the music we should have got last year at Mania, the remix to Downstate
Oh
Kingdom.
no, no,
Because
no,
he's
no, no,
hear
no,
me
no!
out, hear me out. I know you're the president of the Cody Rhodes fan club.
I'm
Hear
not
me
the
out,
president of the goddamn
hear
Cody
me out.
Rhodes.
Just hear me out. Where's Mrs. Mike so she can hear this too?
Mrs. Mike,
So
Mrs. Mike is probably listening. She's probably listening for sure.
yeah, so he has to come back with that music because he's got to turn it up a level.
Oh
Because
God,
remember, he started having the little hipster jackets. He's gonna come back. He's got to be a little bit more edgier and grittier because his title's been taken. And he got to make sure he
I
put
need
his
I
step.
need
This is the
Cody to
evolution.
crash out, dog.
Yeah, the music is the perfect one. Imagine that music hit that way. Everybody like, oh, it's Cody. Oh, but he's different.
That
Oh,
remix was so. Mm,
all right, you ain't got to have a rapping part because that's where a lot of people did. But it's downstate. It's good. I'm telling you. I don't come
it's
back. Look what happened when WrestleMania when Roman came with that music. You remember you were there. You were frozen in time, weren't you? Because
uh,
the music got more. It was like the next evolution. It got more. And then when he came back, you were like, oh, he kept the music. Oh, this is great. It took it to
I
another
didn't
level,
I didn't
right?
know I didn't know we're doing WWE entrance themes as Pokemon evolutions at this point. So now he's gonna go from Charmeleon to Charizard with the entrance music here. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna go from
Oh,
Squirtle to fucking Blastoise. That's what we're
oh,
gonna get.
oh, Mike, you just got 5 more cool points because you just know about Pokemon.
I
Oh,
well,
that's
why would
fun.
of course, dude? My shit was Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, and wrestling. Yu-Gi-Oh was my shit. My
We
shit.
got to talk because I still don't understand Yu-Gi-Oh.
That's just still
No
I
matter how
still
much
don't
somebody try to
understand it.
explain it to me, I'm like, I don't get
I'm
this. It's
almost
okay.
30 and I still don't understand Yu-Gi-Oh, but that shit was balling, balling, dog. It's time to duel. That shit went hard. Anyway, we're
Oh,
we're just going on tangents here. I told Brandon before we
see,
went
I
live. I'm
told you I
probably
wasn't going to talk. I said I'm not going to say a lot
yeah,
because
but we haven't
when they
seen
get the
each
mic,
other.
I know I feel like with Mike, I gotta get you the mouth off. See what I did
You
there?
always getting that. You always get me to mouth off. How about you mouth off about Santos Escobar and Ray Phoenix?
Oh boy. Just like I said earlier, I kept saying, "Come on, do something," and it was because you had two, and I hate to you say the word lucha because I think that it puts them in a certain category, but we had two luchas that didn't live up to what I thought was going to happen, and I know they still haven't taken the training wheels off of Ray Phoenix because I know, and we say this a lot. Like remember when Shinsuke Nakamura came to NXT, he had to be watered down. I don't think anybody on the roster but Sami Zayn could have wrestled him in his first match because Shinsuke would have killed somebody. You and so if you think about it, he came straight from New Japan. That strong style is not a joke. He would have hit somebody with a Kinshasa and they would have had a concussion. He would have literally it would have so and I said it to say when Ray Phoenix and even Penta came, it was like they had to figure out how to water them down and slow them down. But you put him in the ring with somebody that you know could keep up. I was like, let him hit the unlock button. Give me the special moves. And I was waiting for that. And I think that's what I'm waiting for with Ray Phoenix. But it's like, come on, I've seen him do a Spanish fly midair. And I'm like, how did he defy the laws of gravity? But I'm like, oh, come on, do something. And I know it might be further another storyline with Santos, but I want Ray Phoenix. I want his music is bad, but his inward ring is perfect.
I
And
feel
give it
like
to me. Just give me that stuff.
I feel like
Give me that.
Penta got the better end of the music deal between the two of them for sure.
Yeah, he never. You know why? Because it has that. There's something. Ray is just creative player number 17.
Yeah,
That's what it
that's
is.
they
And they
definitely could have
tried to hype it up.
they could have 100%
The
hyped up
sparkles
his
on
song.
1 million. He got more sparkles than his brother, but it's like, are we gonna put sparkles behind him and say that's cool? I would have rather seen flames because he's a Ray Phoenix.
Ray
He got
Phoenix, yeah,
flames
it
all
should
on him.
fire, but Seth Rollins got the fire. He's got the fire budget, Seth. So you gotta give
Oh
the
yeah.
sparklers the spark. No, listen.
What
Let's be
sparkles?
real though. I feel the same way you do about this match, and I feel the same way I do about this match as I felt with Fraxium and Pretty Deadly. It didn't get into the next gear. It was like we were just like stuck. We were just stuck in that second gear, man. And like we were trying to shift up, man. And like something just wasn't clicking tonight. I don't know if it was because we were in Iowa. I don't know if the talent was so distraught after the news, because they're sitting backstage and they're probably seeing Twitter and seeing their friends get text messages and hearing the news. So maybe they're all just throttled by this news today. But I mean, this match, I feel like it didn't get up into the third gear I wanted, but it did create an interesting story here, Brandon. You mentioned his name earlier, Mr. El Idolo, Andrade. It looks like Andrade's trying to take Los Garzas away from Santos. How do you think that plays out? Or do you think this is a, what am I looking for here? Do you think this is a good faith move by WWE recently, kind of airing more luchadors, more lucha libre in the programming because of AAA? Or do you feel like there's actually something that we're going to be able to sink our teeth into storyline wise with Andrade, Santos, Ray, and Los Garzas?
I think it's going to be both, because I don't know much about AAA or the current roster when they were in AAA. So I don't know what stories were already told or what stories that could be unfolded. But I think this is something that's probably going to go across and lead to like a Worlds Collide.
Mm-hmm.
Because what if Andrade gets a partner or gets two more partners in this, them versus, you know what I mean? I don't know. I feel like it's going to be a big payoff of this, because it's a reason. 2 weeks ago, remember, was it 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago when Andrade first said something to Angel?
Mm-hmm.
No, he said something to Humberto.
It was, yeah,
He
2 weeks
said
ago.
something to him. Yeah, so it's like he keeps going to him, but then he pointed out, look, see, it's funny. But he keeps going. So I don't know if it's a split or a breakup or something's about to happen. I just feel like he's planting a seed to see how we're going to react or how far we can go with this.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like a little bit of I feel like it's a little bit of both here.
Hmm. It's
Let's see. I think we're still some meat on those bones here for that Andrade singles push, Brandon. I hope so. Hope it's
yeah,
coming one day.
I,
Same with Santos.
and I don't want him to have. I don't need him to have the U.S. title. I don't need him to be the Speed champion. I don't need him to be, a tag team champion. I think Andrade has enough grit in the game to be a match that you want to see on the PLE, to be the main event of a SmackDown. Because if we just look at the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, when it came down to him and Carmelo, did you not get excited? Like, oh yeah, here we
Oh
go,
yeah,
here we
was a
go.
great.
Because we know what they did in that best of seven series. So he's proven. I don't know why it won't. Why is it not translating? You know what I mean? Like, what is it? Because he's dressing, he's talking, and he's wrestling,
Mm-hmm.
but he'll have no crowd participation. It's just that his crowd participation is once the bell rings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. He's a when the bell rings, you're like, oh yeah, I gotta watch this guy.
Hmm.
That's how it's always been for him, man. And I wish people would get behind him, man. I'm just glad that when it's all said and done, that he is hopefully going to get a storyline here now after being off TV for a while. He had a great showing on the Andre the Giant Battle Memorial. Honestly, Karrion Kross would have been the guy for me. Carmelo was a good choice, but I think Kross was the crowd. When he got eliminated from that Battle Royal, I thought that was kind of, for me, what sealed it, where I was like, Kross maybe should have won that. That would have been a good Cross. That would have
Yeah,
been.
it would have gave him something to attach
Mm-hmm.
yourself to.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well,
Hmm.
we've made it to the main event, folks. And this is let's see, first time since earlier this year that the women have main evented SmackDown. It's been a while. It's been a while. Tonight feels like that. This was kind of a Triple H saying, "Yeah, I released a bunch of women's wrestlers, but look, I still have women left, and I'm gonna put them in the event." Jade and Tiffany in a can they coexist ×2, because Nia Jax and Naomi, can they coexist, Brandon? I love I love all four of these women for different reasons. I don't love the can they coexist tag teams. But to your point earlier that you made, we now know who's fighting for the WWE Women's Championship this summer.
And I think that's where it's. So I'm glad that we're out of the WWE where it's the default person. Like anything can happen, and we'll be okay with whatever happens. Because right now, if any of these three women challenge for it, you'll be happy because you know you're going to get something good out of the situation. But then, if any of these three women challenge, you know the other two are going to interfere. So it's like, oh, how do you make this happen? And so will they, won't they coexist? I'm kind of tired of it too. But as a wrestling fan, I always have to say, okay, it's not for me. It's for other people that might be new to the game that don't know that this has happened before, or who don't know that Naomi and what you call it are actually related. It's Nia Jax, but then on the same token, how can we plant a seed or sprinkle some dust, the Triple H dust, to say, look what you about to get. So this is locked in right now. And I think that the women did great in the match. I think that it was a good way of telling what's coming. I thought it was kind of funny how Jay got the belt and was holding it. I was like, why is she holding it like that? But and I as a belt guy, I understand the women are small, but if you're gonna cut one side of the strap, cut the other side. Why is
Yeah.
that one side like why is it a 2x4? Because when Sasha Banks had it, they cut it all the way around and just made both ends small. But I'm like, come on now. So that's just my side note, my rant. But overall, I think well, let me ask you this. Do you think we could get this match on Backlash or do we wait for what's after Backlash?
No, I was saying this ain't making Backlash. This ain't making
Okay.
Backlash. We're at 4.
Yeah.
We're at 4 matches on Backlash. Fatal 4-Way, Pat McAfee, Gunther, Randy Cena, and Becky Lyra. And then the number 5 is going to be Jey Uso and Logan Paul. There's your 5 matches for Backlash. Spoiler alert.
Okay.
I already have the script for Monday Night Raw. Jay's going to formally challenge Logan. There's your spoiler alert. That's not a spoiler. That's a prediction. That's not a prediction. That's a spoiler.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, exactly. This won't make Backlash, but it certainly will make a main event for SmackDown the
To
following
further
weekend
another
after. Yeah.
PLE.
Yeah. Not the
Because we
PLE,
haven't
because
got
next
to
week it's Nia and Naomi in a number 1 contenders match to verse Tiffany Stratton, which is very confusing because what
I think it's
about
Jade and Nia.
Oh, it's Jade and Nia?
Yeah, in the number 1 contenders match. Because
So
remember
poor
she said something about
Naomi.
it'll still be hanging around. They'll either
Yeah,
cause a
there ain't no
DQ.
way. She's
But then I
she's
guess
gonna interfere and Nia's gonna win, and then Jade and Naomi are gonna have another match.
but did they officially announce Evolution yet? Because I know it's been
No,
speculation that Evolution is coming.
don't even get me started on fucking Evolution, dog. They just released all these women. What the fuck kind of evolution are we gonna have, dog?
Let's
You
see.
know what I
What is the
mean?
PLE? What's left in this year after
Money in the Bank.
Backlash?
Money in the Bank.
Okay, keep going.
June 8th is Money in the Bank. 7th is Worlds Collide with NXT and AAA. Then you have Saturday
Oh,
night's
we
main
forgot the
event.
main
Oh,
event.
it's
Yes,
Saturday night's main event, Memorial Day weekend. Yep.
dig. So we got Saturday's main event, and then Money in the Bank.
Money in the Bank. And
Oh, so
then
what if? Oh my God, one of the women's going to win. Oh God, one of them going to win Money in the Bank. We didn't even think about that.
Jade's gonna
That
win
could be
Money
a.
in the Bank.
Oh, now
That's
what
my
made you say Jade so quick?
uh tonight's positioning on the show. Her holding the title, I don't think that was for no reason. I think that was foreshadowing to tell us Jade's gonna be a champion. Bless you, it's true. Bless you, it's true. I think it's Jade. I'd like to see Naomi. I'd like to see Chelsea. Those are 2 names for me. But I think it's gonna be Jade. And I think you could make an argument that Jade will cash in relatively soon on whoever may win at Saturday night's main event against Tiffany.
That night. I hope. I'm so glad we
At night.
stopped the women cashing in that night. But and I, it's all right. Yep. you might be onto something. I don't think that Chelsea, because she's too focused on the United States title, or maybe she becomes the other point of, hey, I'm here too. But I just in my mind, fantasy book, I want her to go get the Knockouts title. But that's just me.
That's
That's just
fair.
my personal. That I'm saying, like, because she never had it, she never got it while she was this version of herself. You know what I mean? Like, I want Chelsea Green with the Knockouts. Well, never mind. I'm just
Yeah.
shut up.
I no,
'Cause
I get you. I know I know where you're coming from. I mean, listen, this is gonna be real interesting. We've got a lot of news broken today, lot of conversations had here today, and it was an all right SmackDown. I'll give it a 6, man. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it tonight.
yeah, it
I
wasn't as
think
great as it's been.
the general vibe just was bad, and I personally really liked when my wrestling is not clouded with a dark cloud an hour before. Brandon, tell the people about you, tell the people about championship culture, where they can find you guys, follow you, what's coming down the pipeline.
Oh, okay. So season 4 is coming very soon. And when I say stay close to social media, because if you go to championship underscore on Instagram, that's where we post specifically about championship culture, or you can go to the wrestling realm so with a W on X, Facebook, Instagram. That's the flagship show every Wednesday at 10:30 p.m. You can find us there. But championship culture, if you follow us on Instagram, we will follow back. Post a lot of belt stuff, post a lot of videos. But of course, you can find me at Custom Guy 913 on X or on any of those wrestling around things that you see. But I will encourage you to stay tuned because there's some stuff about to come out that gives you some hints about season 4. And I'll tell you, Mike, it involves some belts,
Ooh,
some new belts,
ooh,
some information, probably even an invitation for you
oh,
about certain things. So stay tuned.
oh,
Keep your calendar open, Mike.
oh, baby. Calendar's
Yeah, because
wide
this
open
because
for the championship
because
culture, boys. That's for sure.
we're gonna need you to mouth off about something. So we got the perfect subject for Mike. But because you slipped up one time and said something, so I said, I wonder, does he remember? Because
Uh-oh.
you may been on the show before. You said some things that made us think. So yeah, I'm gonna tell you, go back and watch that episode. You'll probably get a hint of
Oh boy. Is that the
it.
big gold versus the world?
hmm
Could that be?
Yeah, and then you had another one where it was just you. Remember?
Oh,
You had a
oh
lot of little
no.
things. I'm gonna let you go back and watch it. Then when you put in the
Uh,
group message, I'm gonna say bingo. So
oh man. Oh, I gotta go
yeah,
back. I gotta go back now. You're
good
killing me.
stuff.
You're killing me.
I would
Oh
just say stay
man.
close to our social media. You'll see some things about championship culture. But always, if you need a custom belt, myself and you, all you gotta do is tell us what it is. We come up with the designs for you. You let us know yay or nay. We get it for you. Not breaking anybody's pockets. I know some people are charging thousands and thousands of dollars for belts. It's not that serious to me. I understand everything that people go through. Also, custom T-shirts. Appreciate Mike wearing a T-shirt at WrestleMania, so he was rocking his custom championship culture T-shirt
I
um,
was.
at,
It got
at
some
WrestleMania.
I just so happened to be at WWE Superstore that day, and I ended up meeting the Rascals, and
Really?
yeah, we got to I was rocking the championship culture t-shirt. People were like, "Yo, that's a sick t-shirt. Where'd you get that?" I was like, "It's exclusive. You got to go check out Wrestling Realm Championship Culture if you want to get one of these bad boys." Here, let's see. It's going to be bad on camera, but you see that shirt I'm rocking right there, boy?
Yeah, because I
There it
saw you
is.
punch into Cody Rhodes. Like, what? You didn't post that one, did you?
I posted it on IG. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was looking on your X one. I was like, "Where's all this stuff from Mania?" And I saw where you was punching the Dominic Mysterio thing. Well, I don't know if you was punching, but it was funny. I was like, "Oh," and so that's what I saw. I was like, "Oh, maybe I missed it." I'm going to your IG now. I'm going to stalk you on IG. That's all I'm saying. And it's ironically, a good friend of the wrestling room and a good friend of mine. Wrestler name is Ruckus. He's in the GCW Hall of Fame. Um, was one of the first black wrestlers to win a title in New Japan. I can't remember which one, but he's always been a good friend of the channel. He has a championship culture shirt. He said it was like "Hey, I wore it at the show." And I'm like, "Huh?" So it was this highlight reel, and all you saw was the championship card. I was like, "He really did wear it at the show." I was like, "Okay." And then a good friend of mine, he actually got the Immortal belt, IC belt. He loves Jeff Hardy. I don't know if you ever saw the video where I showed that I had Jeff Hardy sign his Immortal belt for me. He
Yes.
drew the way Jeff Hardy did. He has a Jeff Hardy, the Hardy Boys colored inspired championship culture
Ah.
shirt. So I figured you'd get a kick out
I
of
know
that.
what I'm putting on my Christmas list from Brandon Claus. Let me go ahead and get that
Like,
recreation, get that
I'm gonna
design
need
out
that.
the archives.
Like, I wanted it purple and green. I want one each. One for me and one for the wife.
I love it. I mean, the
Yeah,
missus
so
and just so that people know, Brandon is such an incredible guy. And when he sent me the custom championship culture shirt in my Eagles Super Bowl champion shirt, he sent one for Mrs. MOWM. So we match. So every once in a while you get
because
to
y'all the
catch
tag team.
because we're the tag team. And then of course, yeah, I can't spoil the plans, but Brandon knows about a plan I have for the future when it comes to some custom titles. So I can't wait to put that pen to paper and give him the design
Hmm.
ideas. But man, you got to go follow Brandon. You got to go follow his tag team partner Hugh as well.
Yes,
Um,
as the third, he does
as
photography for the
third.
Nighthawks, which is a women's football team. HASPHE to the three to the R to D, but hazmat photography. Um, Hugh Scott and you'll see him, his brother Hugh does some awesome stuff. It's crazy. We went to an indie show. He took some pictures and posted them. The wrestlers took the pictures and made it seem like it was, I was like, Hugh, they using it. I was like, it's the show. He's like, yep. So I don't know if you saw the video when Dolph Ziggler when he saw Dolph Ziggler entrance. Did you see that video?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, yeah, good guy. Of course, has the third, Brian H. Waters, and the realness to Wayne Allen, all part of the rest of the realm. But I can't go without saying thank you, brother. I appreciate all the kind words. I want to echo it, but I don't want to sound sappy or get you to crying. But I will say this: he's kind of the heart and soul of boom broadcasting because this man, I don't know how he does it with this many nightcaps this often and has that energy all the time. This is him on camera, off camera. What you see is what you get. There is no mouthing off of Mike is Mike. He's the Italian stallion. He's a good guy, a good brother, half of the probably the best tag team in podcasting because you hear a voice at the intro. No, you didn't play it this time. I
I
realized it.
played it. I played the
Didn't you?
intro this
Oh, I
yeah.
might have been muted. You know, his tag team partner is doing the intro. He didn't think I paid attention. But I will tell you this: if you want to hear some good podcasts and hear somebody talk about some wrestling, just search for Mouth and Off with Mike. That's the way to go. And I can't say that enough. Literally, somebody that's been in the game with this year two for you, right?
This is year 2, yeah, man.
Year two, barely 30 years old, a wealth of knowledge when it comes to wrestling. He knows some stuff and he can talk about some stuff that most people can't. So it comes from a good place, and this man is the it when it comes to. Now, I'm not discrediting anybody in Boom Broadcasting, but you know, you're my favorite in Boom Broadcasting.
You said you weren't gonna make me cry, Doc. Listen, man. Let's get out of here before you see a grown man cry here tonight on camera. Brandon, I love you, man. I love you, custom guy. I love championship culture. I love the wrestling realm. I love all of you guys. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with Brandon here and me tonight on the Nightcap on Boom Broadcasting. Go follow Brandon. Go follow Hugh. Go subscribe to Wrestling Realm. Subscribe to Boom. Subscribe to me. Thank you guys all so much here for hanging out with us on a Friday night. I've got some content dropping here this week. I've got my taste test of the Frosted Yeet coming out
I
here
can't wait to see
tomorrow
how this is
morning.
gonna go.
And I have it'll come out Sunday night. How much does it really cost to attend WrestleMania? I'm going to give you my
Wait a minute,
budgets.
put that back up. That face is frank. Look at that face. Oh, I love it. 'Cause I know.
uh,
Oh, they said it went from $300 average price to like 1,400 average price. I was like, Jesus. So,
oh man, we waited. We tried to wait as long as possible, and when I think we ended up with some good value tickets for what we had, and at the end of the day, money can be made, but the memories are forever, as they say.
yep. Because I remember WrestleMania 40 very well, like it was yesterday.
And you know what? I was talking with Four Sides of the Ring last night. If you guys didn't check out the show with Four Sides, go check out Four Sides as well on YouTube. But I was literally telling them off the air. I was like, I'm gonna be honest with you. Haley and I were like, look, we had such a blast and it was such a great time, but it was like there's something missing. And it was you guys. And I'm not saying this on air live, just to blow smoke, but it was like something was off. And we were like, we had a blast with, everyone and our friend and everything, but it was like, I wanted more. There was something missing that I just didn't have. And it was Brandon, it was Hugh, it was Chano, it was Nitram, it was the founder, it was Four Sides of the Ring, it was championship culture and the camaraderie and the pre-gaming in the parking lot of the Wells Fargo Center in Philly,
in between what you call it, NXT. It was
exactly.
like, oh, and that's why I'm saying like those memories, and it's crazy because, and that's why I said who you are on camera or you in real life, because I don't, to have a conversation with, let's just a stranger and then become a good friend. You're like, oh, it felt like I've known you forever. Like it felt like it was like it came easy, even for Mrs. Mike. It was like, oh, she's nice. We like her. Keep her around. Like, like she fits right in. She's great. So that's and like you said, those memories. We always go ahead those memories. So it was a good time. We
We're gonna
definitely
do
got
it
to make
again,
more of
baby.
those.
We're gonna
Yes.
do it again. One day it's gonna be all of us in one of them press conferences in WWE, and we're gonna be asking Paul Levesque questions, and we're gonna ask him the hard hitting questions, and it's gonna be a great time, man. And I look forward to working with you guys in the future. I can't wait to be on season 4 of Championship Culture. I'm gonna have to go back and watch the episode, and when I find the episode, I'm gonna post it so you guys can figure out what Brandon is gonna make me talk about on my
And I'm
socials.
gonna keep
So.
you in suspense until you see it.
Yeah, of course you are.
You-
Of course you are. I wouldn't want it any other way. Much love, everybody. Thanks for joining the Nightcap here tonight. We're out of here. Have a great
Thanks for having me.
weekend. Thank you for being here. Love you guys. Bye.